Thank you. On behalf of the like-minded elders, citizens of Nagaland, we have called this meeting, specially observing the time as such we are in. This is the second meeting we had, and we are deliberating how to help the implementation of negotiated agreements which have concluded, talks have concluded since 6 years or more. It appears no solution is solution to many, including Government of Nagaland, Government of India, and also the Naga national workers. And wherein in between, Naga public, especially the youth, are suffering. We can't breathe. We can't smile. Looking at our youth, being the gatekeepers of other cities. We see our youth in the parlors. We see our youth in the call centers. And thousands and lakhs of our youths are loitering in the street without hope and opportunities. This is our concern. Therefore, after a long time, we thought we cannot, as stakeholders, remain silent and should not remain silent. Not only us, but the entire citizen, especially the youth, should take the responsibility. We are also calling the attention of the Nagaland Joint Nutrition Forum to come forward to salvage the people of Nagaland. Today, we have come to some conclusion wherein we need to consider to win the political will of Government of India to implement, because we don't see any obstruction or any contentious issues that are pending, because talks have concluded. It is in the public domain. Before the Government of India, before the people of Nagaland, before the Naga national workers, talks have concluded. And there is no more negotiation since 6 years, although there has been some here and there press demanding additional demands. But Government of India has clearly said talks have concluded. Therefore, what is delaying? What is causing the delay of implementation and opening the way for our youth, for our people to prosper, to live in peace? This is the issue. We have nothing against any political party or government, but it is the duty of the Nagaland state government as citizens and every one of us, including the medias. We therefore thought this, although we are not having any official forum or nomenclature, as a like-minded elders of Nagaland citizen, whoever subscribes to the idea of implementing the negotiated agreements at the earliest time, we wanted to associate them, work together, and find out ways to help the implementation. This is the objective of our meeting. If there is any question from your side, our legendary Dr. S. Jamil is here. our speakers are here, senior officers are here, and I think you all know our friend Mr. Dangam Pom from retired Commissioner Secretary, W. Kama, politician, Zetloha, former speaker, HK Kulu, he is also additional Chief Secretary retired. You know our Dr. C. Jamir, our KK Sama, retired IS officer, and my brother Teja Tere. Today, about 24 of us were there, but since this is a small room, only few of us are here to see you. We have a photograph. We can transfer it to you later.
আজি আপুনি কাল লগা মিটিং হোৱাটো এতিয়া চাইছে বোলে আপুনি কান কিমানজন বহি না আছে সব কোনবা পলিটিশিয়ান কোনবা রিটায়ার্ড ব্যুরোক্রেটস আছে কোনবা আলাদা আলাদা অর্গানাইজেশনাল লিডার্স আছে আন্ডার দ্য নমেনক্লেচার অফ নাগাল্যান্ড আপনি এতিয়া কোৱা নিচিনা আছে লাইক মাইন্ডেড লিডার্স অফ নাগাল্যান্ড এই বয় আছে না নলে ইটো আলাদা আলাদা নমেনক্লেচার নচলে So sir, apni ala agenda to apni explain korise. Bole bi Nagaland itia saise bole sir Naga political issues laga opore. Edo November moina 18 dibe ekta Naga common platform thakise. Kutte tade sir civil societies organization pishibra tribal obra attend nokoribo karone edo nijor laga tribal members kan ki najabi koise. Yes, despite 5000 nishna ise aru itia to koi ase ki sir PAC meeting chundu recently dakise tade TR jilang bra koise ki Nagaland itia civil societies organization to ekta command platform ekta bunale hobo. So in that regard apni kan bi ki koe now this is the command platform.
I think we have not heard about that command platform. If they can come forward and work together to implement the negotiated agreements, we have nothing to oppose. What is stopping them to implement the political negotiated agreements? If the state government has the will, who can stop them? This is our question.
What is the way forward for the team? What are you looking forward to? Of course, you have spoken about the negotiated settlement, but is there any, are you making any solid, conceivable move?
First,
I'll just supplement to my colleague's question also, considering that the agenda today, the meeting started in the morning, 11 we were told.
Exactly.
Right, and it's such a long meeting that went, and the discussion might have been quite, detailed also. So if you can just, supplementing to his, was this the only thing that was discussed, that what is stopping? Was there other demands as well, or questions that you have raised?
This meeting was an almost informal meeting for a consultation. All of us are acutely aware the yearning of our people for peace and stability in the land. And yet, Nagaland remains like a mortally wounded person groaning with pain and without any people to take care of them. Therefore, citizens like us who are unattached with anything, but the citizens concerned for the people, we assemble here to deliberate on various issues as to why Nagas should suffer under this land. Of all the problems which we have discussed, the most problem which is really affecting Naga peace is non-solution of Naga political problem. Now, for more than 2-3 decades, negotiation has been going on, during which they have discussed all aspects of political subjects like sovereignty, like constitution, like flag, like integration, and so on and so forth. after so much of deliberations, and study and depth, and examining the validity or non-validity of any issues. At long last, the signatories belonging to IM group and NFC group, they have drawn up two political agreements known as Framework Agreement of 3rd Accuse 2015 and Agreed Position of 17 November 2017, respectively. And this is the basis upon which the peace of Nagaland will be built up. Upon these two agreements, all these accumulated problems have to be done away with. And while signing this, I think they have full knowledge of the contents of their own this agreement, both the groups, and they were fully alive to the kind of subject they have already inserted. And when they sign in the presence of Prime Minister, Home Minister, and National Security Advisor, I think they have shook hands, clapped hands. And on that day, not a single dissenting voice was raised. All of them were jubilant. And Prime Minister said, for the first time, the Naga underground leaders have agreed to join the mainstream of Indian national life. So that was the political conclusion made honorably in the presence of Prime Minister, Home Minister. The same agreement, the similar agreement was made between this NSCN as well the Government of India. That we call it this agreed position. So now, ready-made political framework is there. The only thing is, when are they going to implement it? Number one. And since after so long a negotiation, they have already arrived at it, the sooner they implement, the better, because Naga people, I think they want also to live in peace and harmony. They want to carry on their normal avocations without any disturbances whatsoever from any quarter. And Nagaland also would like to now come up speedily as possible as any other states in the country. And this can be done only when these two deadlock are removed. Then only Naga people can come out of that land. Therefore, the urgency has been felt so strongly, especially by senior concerned citizens. Therefore, in order to highlight the importance of this early solution, this consultative meeting of these senior citizens were held today. And we have only deliberated upon the pros and cons of how best, how soon can we ask Government of India and the concerned authority to implement this agreement. Because you cannot keep it in the cold storage, because people are really suffering because of non-implementation of this issue. Unfortunately, there's always black sheep in a society. Even though for the best of intention, underground people have already entered into political agreement. But there are some elements who doesn't like to have peace in the land, because for some people, peace is not good for them. So they call it status quo. This group has emerged, and they're really giving lots of problem in to come to this logical conclusion. But we, as senior citizen, concerned citizen, I think we have to speak out loudly, honestly, and then to the people that we have to live in peace. and it depends upon Naga people. We have to raise our voice. We cannot depend on others. It is our own problem, and therefore it has to be solved by our own strength and from our own, let us say, angle. That's what we have discussed.
Sir, I have one more question. Since you are all influential people in your own right, so what kind of solution are you looking forward to? Will it be Nagaland centric, or will it include pan-Naga solution cutting across all Nagas?
It is very
all
clear.
territories?
It is very clear in this framework as well as agri position. No integration, no sovereignty. Very clear. It means Nagas of Manipur will be in Manipur. Nagas of Arunachal will be in Arunachal. Nagas of Nagaland will be here. That's all. There is no ambiguity as far as that's concerned.
So that means, sir, abuni itiya kwanishina government of India bra solution to delay nokri na ani dibi ko ase. Lebi framework agreement aro agreed position to government of India bra duita to be ekilo ko dibuna yade charcha ekta bishi chule ase ki command traffic ta hobo lage. Ito board be kota ase. So in that point, sir, abuni be as a veteran politician ki koi.
When government of India have already signed framework as agreed position, then it's not necessary that all of them will be incorporated in Constitution of India. It is only those relevant portions will be incorporated in the Constitution of India through Indian Parliament. And I'll give you one example. 16-point memorandum. 16 points are there. But only 371A has been incorporated in Constitution of India because that was the only relevant portion to be incorporated in Constitution of India. And therefore, common draft, this draft, I don't understand about this because they have already signed whatever they have given. That is the agreement.
Sir, one question from Anne. Since you have stated that the talks has been concluded, so who is responsible for delay in arriving a final solution? Is it the government of India? Is it the state government, or NNPG or NSCN? Who is responsible in delay?
According to my reading, there is no problem from NNFG, but it is I who is delaying. To be frank, let us be frank.
Earlier, Sir Thierry also had said that the youth must take responsibility. But what about the responsibility of the elders that they had as well? That also should come into question in regard to this, who have led the talks also for decades.
Well, we are all equally responsible, but the strength and mind and might is still with youth because we are concerned, but we can't walk as much as the youth. We don't have the strength they have, and they have future. For us, it is in closing hour, so they have to fight their future, and we have to support. This is where we are saying. For your first question, we will democratically pursue in what way we can win the political will of government of India and also Nagaland to implement, because whether we have 20 faction or 30 faction, once they are called to a table for a solution, they have to come. Otherwise, they will become a lone order only. So they should work together as a working committee and then come to a conclusion. And I don't think, as our Dr. S. Jamia has said, NNPGs are not the problem. Pen Nagago, many of societies have ruled out, and without the consent of the stakeholders, Government of India will not take any sumoto decision. And we are stakeholders, you are stakeholders. Therefore, they cannot impose without consultation of stakeholders. So we have nothing to worry on that.
I have one question. Earlier, the statements made were, can't remain silent. and then later, after a few seconds, says, not against any government or political party. So do you think this neutrality is also
No.
part of the problem?
Can't remain silent because after talks have concluded 6 years, we have not fought any talk against anybody. But how many years should we sleep? Now we should press the government of India and also the state government. They have been assuring to pave the way if honorable and acceptable solutions were found. Agreements are honorable and acceptable, therefore they have signed. Now tell us in what way they want to pave the way. And why, when NSCN of Manipur sectors are Manipur state subject, why they should be the obstacle for the solution of Nagas of Nagaland? We cannot be the obstacle for the Manipur Nagas or Arunachal. We have nothing to say on that. Our wishes, our cooperation, support can be there, but we cannot command them. So also they cannot command our future. Therefore, government of India should not think that somebody is lingering on flag and constitution, therefore Nagaland political solution is not implementable. That is wrong. And the state government is not the obstacle to us. Even if government of India is saying state government is not cooperating, state government has already offered to pave the way. So in what way they want to pave the way, tell us. Tell the people of Nagaland and government of India and implement. That is the easiest route. We don't want to fight, but they have to perform their duty and their commitment. If they are honorable citizens, they should do it. They cannot go back to their own vomit. I think so. Okay.
Now I want to ask this question to our Honorable Sir Dr. A.C. Jamir. Ki FNR ra Chawasal idu Mukokchung district TV Naga political groups of ki matishe. Aro program koise FNR, yes. Aro takan koise ki idu laga program meet to beyond framework agreement aro agreed position achieve kurishi koise. Aro recently idu February 5th takan Naga political groups of ki mati ase. Now the question here is, alak organization ba solution karone mati ase, idu laga khota kore ase. Youth to khota kore ase, olibi sir bishibak saishi gole itia present government bi NPF to merge kurishe aro takan kore ase ki honorable settlement into Naga political issue karone sob takan ekta hoishe kore ase. So apuni bi ekta bishi Nagaland laga deep tak jaigina ase, idu laga opor ki kore ase.
What I can tell you very frankly, whether it is FNR or any group, they are not party to the agreement. Party to the agreement is NSCN and NLPG. Whether it is beyond or below, it is none of the business of the FNR. It is the government of India and the secretary they have to decide. But since they have already signed, I don't think any scope for beyond of what they have already signed. I don't know from where they will give that beyond. It is you ask FNR, this director or organizer, from where will they get this beyond? Not to us, but to us.
To me, one important question, or rather the most important question raised by young men as to what are the factors that have delayed the political solution. Number one, to me, to my understanding, government of India even announced that within 18 months' time, that means within 1 year and 6 months' time, political solution will be brought about. Now that was said many years ago, and yet the government of India has been remaining inactive till today, despite the Prime Minister went to Dubai and announced to the world that Naga political solution has been done. And yet, till today, despite the agreements being made, the actual implementation is awaited. So Government of India didn't been the major partner. It has been failing on its part to deliver a solution to the Naga people. Number two, the signatories, particularly NSCN, IM, having entered into agreement in the name of framework agreement, they are trying to delay it with best efforts to the extent of removing R.N. Ravi, who was found to be very ardent and determined to solve the issue. So he was removed at their behest. If a signatory fails to respect his own signature, being appended to the agreement, then what more? Number three, the state government even recently discussed about the political solution and to urge the parties to resolve the issue. But the problem is, in the press we have come to know that PSC failed to resolve the issue on the issue. They did not pass any resolution as was announced in the local papers. So without resolution means no determination, no sincere effort to pursue the political solution as facilitators. Lastly, I have observed things like this. We, the citizens, we have genuine concern for the prevailing situation in Nagaland, where the downtrodden, the suppressed section have to suffer for decades together. Now, if Nagaland is not bereft of Generation Z, our problem would have been resolved. But it seems Nagaland does not have Generation Z.
Specific roadmap that was decided today to go from deliberation to pressure? Is there any time bound that the senior citizens, like-minded senior citizens have decided today? What is the next step?
We will have another round or a few rounds of meetings to concretize our effort. But in principle, we have agreed to pressure the government of India and also the government of Nagaland, and also we have considered also about the ceasefire ground rules, because ceasefire monitoring board has been the source of creation of factions. It is not the public. So when you look into when you read the ceasefire ground rules, they are supposed to maintain within the signatories, I think, NSCN, IM, and the other 6 groups. But ceasefire monitoring is deliberately trying to punish the people. That divide and rule policy, we know they want, but our Nagas are also weak. That's why we have succumbed to their games.
And also, again, sir, you were part of the whole platform, common platform as well, and you've spoken aloud in November. So is this, and sir, also our Honorable S.C. Jamir, Dr. S.C. Jamir also said that no group should, have any say in this whatsoever. So what is your take on that? To be collecting and having common platforms and inviting people, inviting tribal ho-hos, inviting CSOs.
I was intending not to say a thing here this evening, but The moment I start saying something, it creates problems. So I was trying to avoid it. But broadly, I think whatever in a general way has been stated by our elders gives you more or less the thinking process. And the important thing here is it's about time that we as seniors must also start thinking honestly and speak honestly and look at the realities of the problem that are being faced and address them as honestly as we can. Now here are perspective possibilities that we are still debating, considering is firstly, increase the ground reality awareness to as many people as we can to let them understand what is the ground reality, what are the roadblocks, and what are the possibilities that we have in order to overcome this so that we can become a proper pressure group that can speak with the government of India and let them also reconsider their present lethargic position of indecision towards a more conclusive end. Now, personally, what the general discussion has been is one thing. I'm going to talk about some personal perspective that I have of my own, okay? And to that extent, it will extend to the forum that gets along. But what we have been talking about is clearly understanding a group of people in our society today called the educated unemployed groups. We have so many of them floating around without any possibility of getting job, without any possibility of getting involved into any entrepreneurial, independently entering into an entrepreneurial world because of all the taxation. This is a seriously frustrated lot with no hope. That is the desperate part of it. With our younger generation, not only the educated, but even the uneducated youth, all put together in a basket, people without hope. The younger generation without hope. Now, this is a very critically untenable situation that we feel cannot allow it to be continued without any kind of a helping hand being offered to them. Now here, our basic perspective also is, it's about time that we talk to our younger generation, let them understand their realities, let them understand what are the challenges and options open to them, but they are a set of people that must now begin to realize these desperate realities from the depth of their hearts and come out with a very definitive plan of action whereby questions that needs to be asked, who to be asked, must be asked without fear or favor. And towards that end, for me, I have already written a little article starting this year, came out on the 3rd of January, I think. I have said perhaps 2026 will be the year for the educated unemployed. I have written that, and I'm trying to tell the younger generation, it's time for you to consider the Naga political issue to be your responsibility as much as it is a responsibility for our seniors as well. And put together, if we can generate the reality situation to the masses at large. This is a job I have already said on the 18th rally as well, that it is the state government when the issue of sovereignty and integration is no longer a part of the solution, then the state government is totally empowered to speak for the welfare of our people within the Constitution of India. But even that, instead of helping us to help our people to think and stand up together. They have, instead of helping us, they have been the roadblocks. They have ordered everybody not to attend. You see, these are the double standards that we are saying, and we are saying it's about time that we now ask not only the government of India, but we also have to ask the state government, what really are you thinking about? Why the double standards? They have formed the PAC with a high-sounding rhetoric to say that it's being formed to find a faster solution. The hell they are looking for any solution. It is only an excuse, to my mind, to waste time, and then maybe next time they will come for an election to say, election for solution one more time. These are political gimmicks that we are fed up of, and so this time we hope that we can talk with our younger generation and let them understand they have no future, and the choices they have got to understand and come out standing up and then ask questions where it is due. And as our elder has already said, Uncle S. Jamir has already said, the problem lies with NSCN. And I second that completely and totally, because I have said it before, NSCN is negotiating with the government of India on our behalf, not for the NSCN cadre. All right? We are the stakeholders. We all are stakeholders. But they do not want to tell us what they are trying to solve. How can they decide our future without telling us? The lack of transparency in the NSCN group is one destructive sector. The lack of transparency is another situation that we cannot, it's not palatable. And yet, despite being told over and over again, they are still holding on to that secrecy. So we are completely fed up with this. And I have had no second thought in saying, if NSCN does not want to disclose exactly what they are asking the government of India, then go ahead. Carry on with that secrecy, but implement it in Manipur, not in Nagaland. This is what I have said before, and I'm saying it again. As far as I'm concerned, I don't chew my words. Let them implement it in Manipur if they want, but they cannot implement their competency clauses here in Nagaland without telling us. And so basically what we need is a public momentum to ask NSCN exactly what the hell they are trying to do. We need to also ask the state government, what is this tomfoolery of having an oppositionless government facilitating nothing all these years? And so I think we have a whole range of people that has to be questioned, and we want to create a momentum, especially with the youth. We want them to understand the reality. We want them to be with conviction, able to stand and say, enough is enough. Okay? And so, as far as we are concerned, our forum is apolitical. This is a Congress flag here, but as far as I'm concerned, our forum is apolitical. It is not trying to do any kind of an exercise to perpetuate one party or the other. This is a forum that is purely and commonly concerned for our people that has been suffering for so long, and we must, all of us, must stand up together for once in our life and tell the government of India it's about time. Okay?
I think should be enough and clear, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.